Today's video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Get unrestricted access to worldwide content at expressvpn.com/inside. Believe it or not, E3 is back, and it's just around the corner. The all-digital event kicks off next week starting on Saturday, June 12th, and will go on until Tuesday, June 15th. In context, that likely means 4 separate official E3 streams that will probably go for about 6 to 8 hours each day and are packed with big publisher showcases, new game trailers, demos, and developer interviews. Even though all the dates and times for the biggest press conferences haven't been released to the public yet, we know who's gonna be there, so let's get into the highlights of what we might see during E3 2021. First up, let's talk about Nintendo. A very recent Bloomberg report claimed an official announcement for the long-rumored and anticipated Switch Pro is possibly coming before E3. If that does happen, it's likely Nintendo's E3 showcase will feature a number of first-party Nintendo games that are enhanced by the upgraded handheld hybrid, as well as some time spent on the upcoming Pokemon Legends Arceus and maybe even Splatoon 3. Things have been pretty quiet for a while on Bayonetta 3, and it would probably be a good game to showcase new hardware, but the big question is whether or not we'll see anything from Breath of the Wild 2. It seems appropriate that if the Bloomberg report is true and the Switch Pro is in fact launching holiday 2021, then a new Zelda game would launch with it. Nintendo's E3 showcase will take place on Tuesday, June 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Next up, Microsoft and Bethesda. As a result of Microsoft's purchase of ZeniMax Media, the Bethesda Games Showcase is now being combined into one mega Xbox Studios media event on Sunday, June 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Halo Infinite is sure to be a centerpiece, and we will likely see more from State of Decay 3, Everwild, and Hellblade 2. It's probably a little too early to see anything from the next Gears of War, the new Fable, or the Perfect Dark reboot, but maybe we'll see a little more from Obsidian and their new game Avowed. There were reports last year that Microsoft increased the staff of Compulsion Games by 50% from 60 devs to 90, so it's likely a big surprise could come from them, and it's very likely a new IP. On the Bethesda side, we know we might see some more from Starfield, Ghostwire Tokyo, and the Indiana Jones game that was teased last year. There's also a chance we could see an announcement for the next Doom and Wolfenstein games. Moving on to Ubisoft. The Ubisoft Forward event will help kick off the Digital Expo on Saturday, June 12th at noon Pacific Standard Time. We'll likely see more from Far Cry 6, but Ubisoft probably has another big announcement planned. Rainbow Six Quarantine comes out in the fall, and Ubisoft also recently revealed the Division Heartland, which looks to be a multiplayer survival shooter as a service game. As for big announcements, the next mainline Assassin's Creed game could make an appearance since there are 2 big teams that alternate on the franchise, and AC Odyssey, the one before Valhalla, came out in 2018. We also wouldn't rule out another Ubisoft Nintendo collab like Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle 2, and while it could be cool to see a Splinter Cell reboot, we're holding out to see if Beyond Good and Evil 2 is actually a real game. Next up, Square Enix. There's been loose talk that the entire Square Enix E3 showcase has leaked behind the scenes, and it's only a matter of time before someone spills all of the beans. Coincidentally, a number of Square Enix leaks and rumor stories have popped up, so if you don't want to be potentially spoiled on the press event, skip ahead. The biggest leak is that Square Enix is working on a Guardians of the Galaxy game, but some reporters have said not to expect the project to be shown off at E3. The other big rumor is about a game currently being referred to as Final Fantasy Origin. It's described to be a more approachable Souls-like game set in the Final Fantasy universe, and it's being co-developed by Team Ninja and the developers behind Neo 1 and 2. According to the rumor, there will be a playable demo released over the summer, which makes it very likely we'll see Final Fantasy Origin at E3. Other safe bets include more from Final Fantasy 16, Life is Strange True Colors, and the game that used to be called Project Athia, which is now called Forspoken. As for surprises at the Square Enix showcase, a new Tomb Raider game announcement or a teaser for the next installment of Final Fantasy VII Remake would make a lot of sense, but not a guarantee. Let's move on to Bandai Namco. Elden Ring is the name of the game on everyone's mind when it comes to Bandai Namco, and it's safe to say we'll see something from this title, even if From Software doesn't plan to release it until 2022. Tales of Arise is a highly anticipated JRPG that looks to revitalize the Tales series by appealing to a wider Western audience with a darker tone on modern hardware. The game is slated to come out this year, so it'll likely be shown. Bandai Namco is a large publisher, so they could bring a number of games small and large to show off. Guilty Gear Strive launches the day before E3 starts, but maybe they'll have another impressive anime fighter or action game to share with the world. Now, let's talk about Capcom. Monster Hunter Rise and Resident Evil Village have already done incredibly well for Capcom this year, and there could be more quality titles on the way. Resident Evil Revelations 3 has been rumored to be within a year of release. We know Resident Evil 4 Remake is coming eventually, and we would love to see more of Pragmata, a sci-fi adventure game that was revealed last year at Sony's Future of Gaming Showcase. Between a few developer tweets and the fact that Capcom greenlit a Dragon's Dogma series on Netflix, a lot of fans are hoping for a Dragon's Dogma 2 announcement. Street Fighter V is also 5 years old now, and it wouldn't be too surprising to start hearing about Street Fighter 6 sometime in the near future, but E3 might be a little too soon. Last up, Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Gotham Knights, and Hogwarts Legacy were all announced last year, and it's very likely we'll see more from all of these games at E3 this year. Back 4 Blood isn't launching until October, but it's likely we'll see more from that game as well. We're also overdue for a new NetherRealm Studios game announcement, since it's been about 2 years since Mortal Kombat 11 dropped. Monolith Production, the creators behind the Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games, still have an unannounced title in the works, and their last game came out way back in 2017. According to reports about the unannounced project, it's going to be an open-world game and feature an all-new upgraded version of the Nemesis system. And we've done it. That's pretty much all of the big stuff to look out for during the official E3 streams, but there are so many other events happening before, during, and after E3 as well to try and keep up with. The Devolver Digital Showcase, the PC Gaming Show, the Future Game Showcase, the Wholesome Games Direct, Steam Next, Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, and EA Play are all happening relatively soon, and of course Sony is eventually going to have a big summer showcase as well. All in all, it's a very exciting time for video game announcements, so let us know which games you're looking forward to hearing more about, or if you've got a bold E3 prediction, drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.